let's have some fun. Couple of the tools and yeah, Zoom is live on YouTube, so I think we're ready.
I saw Victor, is it Jaeger? Victor Jaeger, that was the first one I saw. David was the first
Hey,
video. David, how are you?
I'm okay. Thank you. How about you?
Good, good, good.
Nice.
Exciting day today. Everybody cramming in their proposals.
Yeah.
All the final details. Let's get it in and then we can edit it, but I gotta get it in.
Every time I refresh Light Nation, it jumps by like 50.
Yeah, it's like every time it's just like 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, and it's just like, all right, so what are we gonna cap out? It's not necessarily it's a bad thing, but it's just like, can we have it maybe like triple digits or something like that, so we don't tip over? Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, every additional number then does definitely make things a little more interesting. But I would assume that idea scale is gonna be trying to be performant, is to put it nicely, in the especially the last hours keeping up to it. So I do highly recommend anyone who is still working on it not to leave it to the last minutes, because we don't want to be presented with one of those Web 2 problems of 404s or things of that nature.
Nah, you've got like 18 hours, and you know those last 2 hours are gonna be like server working maximum capacity.
Hockey stick. All right, how's everyone else doing? Feel free to come off mute before we kick it off. The Zoom is doing its thing. We did start a little bit later today. Apologies for that. Zoom tried to pull a fast one on us and we could not log in, but we did resolve it and we are online. So why not have a little bit of a stress right before we need to go live? It wouldn't be a catalyst, right? Sometimes things do break, even if you don't often anticipate them.
Hello, everyone from Ukraine.
Good day to you, Andre. Thanks for being with us here today.
What's up, everybody from Florida?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
He's safe in Florida.
Right? Thanks for joining us. I hope you're not in the path.
Yeah, luckily I'm not, but definitely a big one coming.
When is it expected to make a landfall? I've seen some pictures, but I didn't know when it might just
Tonight.
happen. Tonight, all
Sometime
right.
tonight. Yep.
All right. Well, I know we have lots of Floridians in the community, whether within the Catalyst or Cardano always. So sending the prayers and helping everybody. We'll be keeping
Quasar's
safe.
in the path, I think. We've gotta think about our community.
For sure. So hopefully everybody will keeping safe. I see Juan. Juan might be just about somewhere as well, possibly. Are you keeping safe, or was I mistaken about your whereabouts? He's probably looking for cut him off guard. He might have not heard me, but yeah, hopefully everybody's keeping safe. Fingers crossed in the next 24 hours, and it's gonna be just good omens and just a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, and fingers crossed that everybody will be keeping their safe. All right, so how about we take it on the road today? Why are we here? Wednesday, Town Hall. CK, I'll bring us up and start sharing in a moment. And of course, the things are disappearing for me. All righty. And everybody disappeared for me. Perfect. So where did the controls go? Feels hilariously funny. There we go. Share and the Google Chrome and share sound. There we go. Perfect. Took a moment, but we are here. All right, TK, how about we take it on the road?
Yep. Hey, everyone. Welcome back again to another week of Catalyst Town Hall. This is Town Hall 178. Oh, really amazing. So this is my favorite part of each town hall, is to get everyone to come off mute and read the welcome to the experiment. Daddy, does everyone have the ability to get off mute? So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the experiment.
Experiment.
Things may
Break.
break. Let
Break.
documentation
Welcome
differ
to the
greatly between
experiment.
iterations,
Greatly
disorient,
iterations,
overload,
Disorient, overload, and
inspire,
inspire.
Go
Provide a live and
lively environment
for you to
is potential of human collaboration.
environment for you to explore the highest
Collaboration.
potential of human collaboration.
Love it.
Definitely my most interesting part for every single town hall. Thanks everyone for reading the experiment slide in Catalyst fashion. We're going to jump into the next slide. Yes. So what is Project Catalyst? We have a really cool video that we played last week explaining what Catalyst is, just in case you're joining us for the first time, or if you're already a regular in the community, but maybe you were not in the town hall last week. We have this really cool video that we're going to play next that kind of give you an insight into what Catalyst is, and I hope you enjoy it.
Project Catalyst puts community at the heart of Cardano's future. It's a place where everyone can play a role to help solve real-world challenges. A global network that turns ideas into impactful projects. With millions of ADA available in grants to build solutions and make change together. Got an idea? It all starts with a proposal. Anybody in the community can pitch an idea by submitting a proposal via the Catalyst platform. Project proposals are reviewed by the community. This is where ideas get turned into action plans. Anybody can offer feedback on project proposals, and community members also get rewarded in ADA for giving their opinion on how well proposals demonstrate their impact, feasibility, and value for money. It's the community who decides which projects to fund. Votes are cast using the Project Catalyst voting app. Anybody can register to vote using a supported Cardano wallet. Voting rounds preserve privacy and are fully auditable, with snapshots of the ledger published regularly. And when voting closes, the community-approved projects can start working towards their innovation goals. Projects are accountable to the community. When they reach milestones, the community verifies that they have delivered on their goals before more funds are released. Join Project Catalyst now to co-create solutions that matter for a future you believe in. Learn more at projectcatalyst.io.
Awesome. So co-creating a future that matters, that's one key takeaway for what Catalyst is. Really awesome. We're going to talk more about Catalyst and where you could find some really cool stuff later on in the session. But today we have a very interesting presentation, which is also a breakout that's going to be happening at the end of the session. We have our colleague, Roman, with us today. Hi, Roman. Roman is going to be walking us through some really cool stuff. Hi, Roman. Next slide, please, Danny.
Thanks, TK. So today I'll give in this town hall a very brief announce on what will be happening in breakout room. So, and we are working here with alternative Catalyst voting schemes with new protocols. So this job is done by 3 teams, IoG Research, Fortrick, and the Catalyst team. And for today, we are now on the milestone 3. Could you please go to the next slide?
Yeah.
So we have really exciting teams, really great teams working on proposals. We have researchers who represent different countries. We are located in Ukraine, in Germany, in China, and in the United States. And this is not the full list. So we will give more detailed presentation of team members during the breakout room. Can you go further, please? So Our proposal was approved by the community in Fund 11, and we have timeline from March this year till March of the next year. And we need to provide a set of efficient blockchain-specific decision-making methods for future of Catalyst. And of course, as everywhere in Cardano, we provide in scientifically proven way. We are exploring variations in voting power distribution, whether it is one-to-one or it can be quadratic approach or some else. We investigate different tolling rules, how we can calculate the final result. And of course, we need to implement new cryptographic protocols because new schemes have new specific, and we go in this direction. And moreover, today we will present one of such schemes. Could you please go to the next slide? So we already on this milestone have several exciting results. So starting from the beginning, we gathered all requirements for Catalyst voting schemes. There are a lot of really many voting schemes, and we need to select only suitable one. For example, some projects require that voting power is bought, so tokens are just spent and they don't return to the stakeholders. It is not acceptable for us in our research. We need to have multiple winners and so on. So we gathered all requirements. We got a set of schemes which correspond to these requirements. And besides that, we work on formal model, and we found a very efficient mathematical model that describes all these voting schemes. Could you please go further? So we already have analysis of quadratic voting schemes. Moreover, when speaking about quadratic voting, and we go to academic literature, we have at least 5 different approaches, which is called quadratic voting. We provide analysis for 3 of them, and the results are really exciting. Moreover, we obtained generalization of quadratic voting. So we use not only quadratic voting, we can use we can say cubic voting or something like that, and we keep all these properties. As additional result, we need to have some measurement of decentralization, and we use for this measurement Gini coefficient. For Gini coefficient, we also get some formalization, and we found some properties and use these properties to estimate properties of the voting schemes. Could you please go further? So besides that, we found one unwanted property. We can call it vulnerability of traditional quadratic voting. We will discuss it today. So we need to do some modification, even not modification, we need to use special scheme to prevent such a potential vulnerability of quadratic voting. Besides that, we have formal proof of critical importance of privacy preserving voting scheme for quadratic voting. So if quadratic voting is deployed somewhere in the project, it's critically important to have privacy preserving ballots. Otherwise, some important properties may be lost. We also, when we worked with such schemes, we worked with a lot of academic literature, and we found some mistakes, and we corrected such mistake. We improved results which are presented in academic papers, and of course we are presenting the draft of the cryptographic privacy preserving protocol, which is suitable for the schemes which are analyzed. To develop this protocol, it was a tough task, but we managed to do it, and I will be very proud to discuss it. So we are waiting for you in our breakout room. So we will share results which we get with our really great team. I'm enjoying to work on this result, and I'm really grateful for Catalyst community for approval of this project and to work in this direction. And I hope you will also be excited with these results. So waiting for you in the breakout room a little bit later. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Roman, for that really quick overview of what to expect in the breakouts. Like Roman mentioned, he'll be waiting for you in the breakouts. So if you want to get more of this really interesting information, the breakout room is there for you after this main session. On to the next one, please. So each week, we usually showcase the really interesting closeout videos that are fulfilling their commitments to the community and closing out, making sure that everything they said that they would do was done. Today, we have DReps LATAM, Brazil Exploration and Community Sensing. This was from Fund 10, from the DRep Improvement and Onboarding category. They got 49,652 in ADA. And we're going to play the video and see what it's about. There's one interesting element in here. We're going to wait till the end to talk about that interesting element, but it's around generative AI, so enjoy.
Hello, Cardano family. My name is Ada, an Android and Cardano evangelist. I will guide you through this presentation. This is the project closeout video for the DReps LATAM proposal, Brazil Exploration and Community Sensing, approved and funded in Project Catalyst Fund 10, under the DRep Improvement and Onboarding Challenge. The aim of this project was to formalize a written manifesto with input from the Brazilian and Portuguese-speaking Cardano communities and establish guidelines for future Brazilian and Portuguese-speaking DReps and Catalyst DReps. These guidelines will be used to ensure that DReps and Catalyst DReps represent their communities as legitimately as possible during decision-making processes regarding Cardano governance actions and Project Catalyst voting stages. All of our work has been documented and can be accessed through our Gitbook. The name Manifesto was inspired by the Cypherpunk Manifesto, which advocated principles like privacy and the use of cryptography to ensure it, and the Ergo Manifesto, which is a sister blockchain to Cardano. The conception of this project occurs in two phases. The first phase was delivered with the completion of this proposal, and the second phase will be presented at another funding round, when we intend to use the data obtained from this proposal to guide our work as a group of DReps and Catalyst DReps representing the Brazilian and Portuguese-speaking communities. The first stage involved a community sensing process, which was an exploratory phase where we educated and debated with the Brazilian and Portuguese-speaking Cardano communities about the fundamentals of Cardano governance. The debates took place on Twitter Spaces, across 7 different spaces, in which we talked and debated about different topics, such as the Voltaire era, CIP 1694, DReps, Catalyst DReps, Project Catalyst, SanchoNet, and GovTool. All 7 debates were documented and analyzed through reports. The recordings of the debates can be found on our Gitbook. Here you can access our playlist of 7 debates. The recordings can also be accessed on our social media, such as Twitter X, YouTube, Spotify. After the end of each debate, participants were invited to respond questionnaires related to the topics covered in their respective debate. All 7 questionnaires were documented and analyzed through reports. The reports can be found on our Gitbook. The fruit of this work was the creation of the guidelines and critical missions for Brazilian and Portuguese-speaking DReps and Catalyst DReps, a report created to highlight critical missions, according to community feedback. Another deliverable was the creation of the Manifesto Cardano Brazil, a manifesto designed to point out the importance of blockchain technology for society, the importance of DReps' work in this context and values the community wants them to defend. Here you can check the final version of the guidelines and critical missions report. And here you can check the final version of the manifesto. All KPIs and goals established in the original proposal were completed. The KPIs achieved at the end of the project were: 9 participants submitted a form to participate in Voltaire as DReps. 6 participants submitted a form to participate in Catalyst as Catalyst DReps. More than 100 different listeners across all 7 debates on Twitter Spaces. More than 900 live listeners across all Twitter Spaces. 2,800 listeners tuned in across all Twitter Spaces. 159 questionnaires and activities submitted over the duration of this proposal. 70 different respondents across all 7 questionnaires and activities. The work of this project was rated as good or excellent by the majority of participants. Analytics, social metrics, and qualitative metrics of the project can be found in our Gitbook. Our work helped address the F10 challenge, DRep improvement and onboarding, by increasing the DReps pool and diversifying the geographic origin of Cardano's DReps pool. As a bonus work and free additional deliverable, our team organized the Portuguese version of Idea Fest Project Catalyst Fund 11, which resulted in 2 Twitter X spaces where we brought together several Brazilian proposers to present their proposals to members of the Portuguese-speaking community. The Manifesto Cardano Brazil team is grateful for all the support from the Cardano and Catalyst community. We hope to see you again soon. Obrigado.
Obrigado. That was really amazing. Generative AI being used for closeout videos is really cool. That is a very interesting use case. I hope you guys enjoyed what the DReps LATAM project has done. And you can check more of these things out on the next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, so you could check more of these projects that are closing out each week. You could either check out projectcatalyst.io/funds, or you could check out lightdonation.com/catalyst. In this week, we had 8 cool projects add to the list and made it 968 projects that have closed out so far. I am really looking forward to when we hit 4 digits and become the Club 1000. So really interesting stuff. And now we're going to jump into even more interesting stuff. Next slide, please. Yes. So now we're going to jump into even really more interesting stuff and talk about a timeline for Fund 13. Everybody's, putting in their proposals, the submissions, the deadline is coming up. But I'm going to let Danny talk to you about more of that. Over to you, Danny.
Thank you, TK. Well, as we started the discussions in the beginning of this town hall, it seems like a number of you, and alongside also many folks in the community, are probably busy finalizing their drafts because the submission deadline is just upon us. And if you were to be checking the idea scale recently, I think this is a snapshot as of today, you can see like what the breadth and the depth of the submissions is already. So you can see there's definitely some highly competitive and very interesting categories as has been in the factor in the past, especially the Cardano open ecosystem. And also then we have a bit of a lower number in the Cardano partners, but I think that's predominantly due to the case that their submission deadlines actually in November. So they have a little bit of more extra time, but for all the regular Cardano open and Cardano use cases categories, that deadline is just around the corner. So that means we have less than 24 hours, October 10th. So depending on your time zone where you are, you have last hours to do so. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. UTC, the submission capability on the portal will be disabled. So whatever proposals are already published and available at that point, those are the ones that will be able to proceed forward. Now, if you have something still saved in the drafts that haven't been published, we do encourage you to do so at the soonest, because this deadline is to ensure that all of the projects are already published and visible. So tomorrow, October 10th, 11 a.m. UTC, is when the submission period will end. Then there's going to be a few more days extra. Now that you'll be able to look around what sorts of projects are next left and right around you, and you'll be able to start finalizing your projects. And the next 6 days are exactly for that purpose. So up until October 16th at 11 a.m. UTC, you will be able to edit, to rewrite, to update, maybe even archive, prioritize proposals that you have been working on, and you'll have that opportunity to tweak it all the way up until October 16th, again at 11 a.m. UTC. I do encourage everyone to make sure to follow and check all their fields. We're going to revisit this final call to action also next week, but just to keep in mind that it's important to ensure that all your basics are covered in that proposal. Are you correctly aligned with the budget? Are you also, having all the fields filled in appropriately and things of that nature? So keep an eye also on any of the feedback that you might be receiving from the moderators on idea scale in case there's some things or improvements or observations that you might want to take into account. But again, the submission deadline is tomorrow, and then the finalization will come in on October 16th at 11 a.m. UTC. So if we were to zoom out, for the general categories, the submissions opened on September 26th. We're now onto the next bubble of the deadline towards the submissions and finalization. And then the rest of the timeline will follow unchanged as currently specified as well. Now, what else is happening? Well, partner categories, they don't have to stress just yet, but I know a lot of people are talking, having different conversations, aligning with potential partners, trying to put together a proposal that could fit into the partner categories in Fund 13. To that end, submission deadline continues up until November 7th. Now, do keep in mind that there won't be any finalization period. So whatever's submitted on November 7th, in whichever form, that's what we'll be making forward towards the moderation and the shortlist evaluation. So make sure you get all of those elements in line, because there won't be a finalization period because there is a generous extended general submission deadline. So just keep that in mind. Then for the rest of the submission periods, the rest of the fund life cycle still remains the same. All right, community review. All right, well, that one's been busy. People have been anticipating the start, and I'm pleased to say the team were able to launch it just about an hour ago. So if you were to go to the idea scale, you'll probably find a pop-up that will be asking you to express your interest, just like you've seen in the previous funding rounds. And I'm seeing some thumbs up, so that's good. That means it's working, because we might never know with idea scale. But if you would like to participate in Fund 13, then make sure you open your idea scale account. There will be a pop-up visible, so you'll be updating your fields. There's a typo, but you'll be updating your fields in there appropriately. There's a bunch of mandatory questions which are for the entire community, just to make sure that the communications and everything can be in line, whether it's making sure that everybody is aligned with the fund rules, terms and conditions, and the privacy policy. And then there will be that fourth question that is asking you, would you like to participate as a community reviewer in Fund 13? So if the answer is yes, that will then answer it there and follow up with some of the additional questions which are following. And that may be whether it's about your rewards addresses, and also your preferred categories, especially if you'll be able to qualify for a different level, which we will just speak about in a second as well. So make sure you fill in that form diligently so that you don't have any additional blockers. Now you will choose the submit button. You can always edit your fields later on. So even if you change your mind that you would like to participate and you might have answered no initially, you can go back, change your answer, as long as you do it before the registration deadline, which we'll come back to the timeline in a second as well. Now, what happens next? So this is a big thing that has been a change implementing based on the community-led feedback and also the experience that we've probably maxed out in Fund 12 due to onerous bot activity in thousands and thousands that has been unbearable to a point. So there's going to be an identity verification request. Now, this won't be immediate upon the fact that you will register your interest, but monitor your email. And within the 24 hours, you will receive an email with the next steps to complete to make sure we can validate that you're an individual human being and that you are not a bot. So make sure you keep an eye on that email. If it doesn't come and you can't find it in the spam folder either, again, go back, make sure that your idea skill profile is updated correctly. And if the trouble still persists and you cannot find that registration email, please reach out to us via catalyst@iohk.io and we'll pick it up quite swiftly. Now, important caveat to all of this is that any community reviewer that does not complete these steps in time for the registration to elapse will not be allowed to proceed into the community review. Again, trying to ensure that the bot activity is met to a minimum possible amount as well, which should probably increase the affinity of the stage itself, as well as then the follow-up work that comes in from the moderators, who will be able to provide a better targeted feedback to the community reviewers potentially and hopefully not having to chase the bots as much as it was the case in the past. So really looking forward to see how this Fund 13 iteration plays into the real application, and then again take lessons learned upon deployment to see how and where some additional points for iteration come in from. So again, keep that in mind. When you submit your choices on idea scale, you will not immediately receive that email, but within the 24 hours, you will receive one where there's some additional steps for you to proceed. If you have been participating in Fund 12 as a grantee, it will be probably looking very familiar to you because it's a very similar parallel flow as well. So it should be quite comfortable for you to know what's happening there as well. All right. In terms of what were just slight updates in terms of the levels. So again, in Fund 13, we're extending the dial of proficiency across the different levels. When it comes to the thresholds and the valid assessment thresholds, they're remaining the same for both of the levels. So just like you've seen in Fund 12 for level 1, it will be at 80% across all of the work submitted from Fund 6 to Fund 12. And for level 2, it will be staying again same at 90% valid assessments between Fund 6 to Fund 12. Based on your previous track record. So again, there's no change. Where there has been a slight change is increasing the number of the valid reviews that are needed in order to qualify at any of these levels. And in level 1, it has been bumped from 30 reviews to 45. And then for level 2s, again, it was staying, I think, it's at about the level as well. There was 60 reviews. So again, it should be pretty straightforward. And there's some additional requirements in terms of your activity. So for level 1s, you just had to be active at least 2 funds between Fund 10, 11, and 12. Whereas if you would like to be also moderator and level 2, well, that requires to be active in Fund 11 and in Fund 12 as either level 0, level 1, and making sure that you have at least 1 valid review with those appropriate assessments thresholds reached as well. If you would like to dive into the depth of it, there you will find the entire section of the community review updated on a Gitbook as well. So again, where else you can find all the information related to community review? Catalyst Gitbook. You go to the community review section. All of that has been updated as of today as well. If you would like to some community-led support, there is a support group on Telegram for the Catalyst advisors, proposal assessors, and now community reviewers, all in one place on Telegram as well. So there's lots of fellow travelers that can help troubleshoot as well. For any additional topics that you're unable to resolve on your own or within these community-led forums, then do please raise a ticket on catalyst@iohk.io email. Now, one thing to keep in mind, anything related to identity verification or support there will not be provided on any socials, and especially not on Telegram, due to authentication issues and privacy concerns. So anything and everything related to that identity verification, you will only be catered to if you write an official email from the email address that is associated with your account directly to the catalyst@iohk.io email. So just keeping that as a caveat that we may be able to support very generically, but any specific queries will not be possible to support them on socials and on Telegram specifically as well. So just something to keep in mind. Now, when we look at the timeline, the registration is open as of today. Beautiful slide, October 9th, and the reviewer registration ends on October 20th by the end of day UTC. And then we will proceed towards the next steps, knowing what the classification will be between level 0s, level 1s, and then ultimately also for the level 2s. And again, this information will be provided once the registration is done and the work commences, because there is a lot of allocation of the reviews that is dependent also on the number of submissions into the Fund 13 as proposals are pouring in. And then everything else will follow the timeline as anticipated. So fingers crossed that things go well as they could. All right, Fund 13 voting update. So obviously, community review launched officially as of today for the registration there. But also we're pleased to say that if you haven't registered and you would like to register to vote for Fund 13, including the new voting power threshold at 25 ADA, almost all ecosystem wallets and options are already on board. Their copies have been updated, their backend, the code, and everything. So all of the traditional wallets that have been integrated within Catalyst are now a go. So that means if you're able to load up Daedalus That one has been adjusted for 25 ADA threshold as well. Shout out to Typhoon and Eternal guys who have also been able to implement these changes. And then partially, and it's still slightly in progress, Yoroi team is working through their mobile applications, but as far as a Chrome extension, that's already live as well. So if you would like Yoroi to speed up any of these things, give them a shout. Say that you would like to register in case it's still not available in your local phone number. But rest assured, the teams are working quite hard and almost there across all of the wallets within the ecosystem that are historically capable of registering towards the vote. So 25 ADA, that's been already deployed, and officially we can start tracking towards the timeline of the voting power snapshot, which is scheduled for November 20th, 9:45 p.m. UTC. So again, if you would like to invite your fellow travelers to come and register for this voting event, you have time from today all the way up until the voting power snapshot in all of the wallets that are supported. The voting power continuous snapshot in the voting app is also live as of a couple days ago. So you'll be able to, the moment you register, it will be telling you the status, whether you're eligible for, based on a snapshot incoming, whether you're eligible to vote and whatnot. So you'll get that feedback form there as well, right off the bat. All right, community reviewers, they're on the way. Voters, they're on the way. I think those are the two big milestones for this week to be in tune with, and I think we can look forward to the outcomes there. With regards to everything else for Fund 13, again, if you are in those last minute procrastinators that haven't had an opportunity to check in, and maybe you're seeing and hearing about Project Catalyst for the first time today, and you would like to give it a shot, maybe to submit a proposal into Project Catalyst, you can still do so. As we discussed, there's time till tomorrow. And if you'd like to get that TLDR download from Top Line, then Fund 13 launch guide is right there for you. So scan the QR code or follow the link, which is seen on the screen. All right, where else to go from here? TK?
Yep. So how do you stay in touch with Catalyst? After this session, you want to stay in touch with people you see on this call. We have the Telegram, we have the weekly newsletter, we have the Catalyst Discord, and we have the Twitter account as well. You could bring out your phone and just scan the QR code, or you have the slides. You could be able to jump on the links and join these different platforms where you can keep in touch with Catalyst and get all of the information that you need to be successful within the ecosystem. Next slide, please. So you've joined this town hall. You're interested to join another one. When is the next one? You can catch us here every week at 5 p.m. UTC on Wednesdays. So we are live on Zoom and on YouTube. And if you're on Zoom right now watching, I think this is the best time to check in the description box. There's a link that will take you directly to the Zoom. If you're on YouTube, rather, there's a link that will take you straight to the Zoom, so you could be able to join the breakout rooms, because there's going to be interesting breakouts after the main session, and those breakouts are not available on YouTube. So check in the description box, jump on the link, and it'll take you straight to Zoom, and we can see you and you can connect with us one-on-one. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna jump into the after town hall breakouts and pass the mic over to the community team. Hello, Christina, who's presenting today?
Talented.
Hey, Lido.
Maybe he's
Oh,
jealous.
there is my Zoom mute button. I know how Zoom works. Hello everyone. Darlington here with the After Town Hall. What are we, a committee, a working group? Something. Silly people, if you're interested in doing what I'm about to do, hit us up in the Catalyst Discord channel. We meet every Tuesday. We would love to have you. If you're an ambassador, I hear you can even qualify these things for your ambassador incentives. So let's get to it. So, hey, I get rid of this thing. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, all good.
Okay. Catalyst after town hall number 178. Good reminder there. Thanks, Christina. You are at the Wednesday town hall, but there are other days and other regions that town hall happens in. We've got the Eastern Town Hall, the LATAM Town Hall, Europe, and the Africa Town Hall. The link to this page is in the chat. If it's not, it will be shortly. And you can click to register for each of these town halls. Check them out. TK said after the live streaming stops, we're going to be in some breakout rooms, hanging out. But there's other places around to hang out besides the after town hall breakout rooms. There's the Cardano over coffee on weekdays starting at 3, is that correct? 3:30 UTC. There is Gimbal Labs on Tuesday. There is the Orders Guild in Project Catalyst, the NFT Guild. They meet every other Tuesday. 45B Open House is on Wednesday. WADA has a forum on Thursdays. Odin, first Thursday of the month. And of course, the EU Cardano community. Those folks, the time varies, but you can click on the link there to learn more. For today, breakout rooms, we have our usual breakout rooms, the longest running reoccurring breakout room, Sala de Cafe. We have, of course, your town hall check-in. This is where the Lighter Nation crew, joining with the Proof Space crew, are issuing free DIDs. You can mint an attendance DID just to say that you were here at this town hall, and who knows? I hear Mint Swap is working on something. If you have been collecting these DIDs, watch out. Of course, if you don't find any of the breakout rooms you're interested, there is going to be some open rooms. You can get in there and have your secret conversation if you need to. We have some one-off breakout rooms for today, some projects connecting with the community. Of course, you heard earlier that the IOG, the Catalyst team, and the folks from Fortrek did a research on alternative Catalyst voting schemes. You can check out that breakout room to hear what that was all about, and hopefully maybe some experiments, I hope, going forward. There is also Fund 13 Cardano Foundation. The CF participated in Fund 12 last time. You can check out their blog to read about that. The breakout room is going to be talking about what their Fund 13 participation will look like. And finally, we have Peak Chain, Blockchain, and AI mobility platform. AI is coming to Catalyst? What? I don't know. You can check it out to go find out. If you do want to have a breakout room, you don't have to have a DID. You don't have to be having any special access. You just have to click that link before 1800, 6 p.m. UTC on Tuesdays. We will create as many breakers rooms as there are requests before that date. So just go ahead and hit that link if you would like to discuss something with the community or have a workshop with the brilliant hive mind of Project Catalyst. Thank you. See you in the breakout room. Back to you, TK.
Thank you, Mr. Lido. And we've come to the end of Town Hall 178. Thank you everyone for joining us. See you again, same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.